There we go.
The ultimate fishing experience is brought to you by Lund Boats. This week on the ultimate fishing experience, we're after living fossils. In North America, there are a number of different species of fish that have changed very little over millions of years of existence. Prehistoric monsters like the lake sturgeon, for example, known to reach over 200 pounds. They still roam many lakes and rivers, giving anglers a battle they won't soon forget.
So why do we chase these puppies? Do I need to say anything? Look at that. Look at the size of the fish, man. Wow.
Or the paddlefish, a plankton strainer, only pursued in limited areas during a short snagging season. Then there is the 7 species of gar, of which the most widely distributed is the Long Nose Gar, recorded to reach over 6 feet in length. This fascinating toothy critter brings us to the Ottawa River in eastern Ontario, where we meet up with gar guru Rob Jackson, along with first-time gar chaser Mo Symons, explaining tactics to catch these shallow water marauders.
That is amazing. What a gorgeous fish. Pretty wild, eh?
So it's time to keep your eyes peeled on the water. Cast with precision and hang on tight, for a mouthful of teeth is on the end of your line.
Bingo, yeah, buddy! So I've been fishing the gar on the Ottawa River for, I'd say, 10 years now. Kind of bumped into them pike fishing and really got enamored with the fish. It's a really cool opportunity we have here in Eastern Ontario for some of the largest fish in the province for sure. The really cool part about it is you see the fish you're gonna catch long before you actually put a hook into it to land it. So there's a little bit of buck fever every now and then when you see a really big fish in front of you, but it's a pretty cool opportunity we have up here. The Ontario record was 20 pounds for a while. It was just broken recently. I know some other bigger fish have been caught. I've caught a fish that was almost 25 pounds. I've seen some fish that, mind-blowing fish that may have been 30 pounds if we've been able to put a hook in them. Hopefully we can get one of those today. It's a real conditions thing, and we look like we've got a smoking day today. So should have a pretty good day on the water today, I would hope.
All right, I am ready to go. I've been watching you catch these gar for I don't know how long, seeing the pictures you keep posting, and you're driving me nuts. These prehistoric things, they look like something out of Jurassic Park.
Well, today's your turn.
I'm ready.
There's some big fish in this stretch, and we've got perfect conditions today, so it's gonna happen.
And it's all sight fishing.
All sight fishing. Sharpen your eyes and sharpen your casting skills, and it's gonna happen today.
The eyes are ready. We'll find out if the casting skills can keep
well,
up.
We're gonna do our best. There's always a way. Right on. So I'll give you a little breakdown how this works. These fish are mainly shallow water fish. They're up sunning themselves on a day like today. They'll come up, sit right on the surface, so 100% sight fishing. So we don't blind cast. The most important thing between catching fish and not catching fish is making good casts at the fish and how you position your bait towards the fish.
Okay.
They're just a reactionary, opportunistic feeder. Oftentimes we're kind of pursuing a fish out of the shallows, out to open water, and repeated casts at the fish as we're going along. Right. 3 inches from his eye is the number. Now when it gets to the fish, the tendency is to stop the bait. Don't stop the bait. It's a pace thing, so you just want right by his face, and you'll giggle when he hits it because it's a pretty exciting strike, and they're on it, and then it's they'll hit it so hard that generally you tighten up with a hook set, game on. They may go airborne, depending on how shallow water they will go airborne on us. So. And then I'll get the big basket, and the sooner we get them to the boat and in the basket, the better, because oftentimes that whole beak is bone.
Okay.
So it's tricky to actually get a hook in them often. So when you do, it's get them here as quick as we can.
Get them in the boat.
Because sooner or later they will get that hook out.
Okay.
Yippee-yi-yay, that's happened sometimes, you know. You don't always have the hook in the best spot, and as soon as he got his mouth open at a different angle, yeah, that hook pops off.
Got him. Okay.
Come on my left, Mo. There we go, number one. Okay, we leave them right in the water for now until we get that hook out.
Did that bash your camera?
It's a nice fish to get us started with. Probably a 42-incher maybe, somewhere around there.
Very cool.
We'll get him out of the net here.
I can't get over the different color patterns that you see on these things too.
And you don't see two alike. They all have their own kind of traits.
Awesome.
That's a
Look at that. Crazy, crazy. Love it.
Sometimes that's how they go. No worse for the wear though. Well, it's nice to get one off our backs pretty early. That's a good fish, but we're hoping to get you one. Your turn next.
Pressure's on me.
Pressure's on you. So as you can see, seeing them is one thing, hooking another. But after this break, we'll talk about how we're actually hooking this fish, getting them in the boat.
Ready when you are.
Right on.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
So as we're planning to fish this flat right here, it's got quite a bit of glare on it from, you know, we do have some cloud cover today. It's not bluebird skies, there's some glare coming off these clouds. So being able to see these fish against that glare, there's always one way that's better than the other when you want to come through the bay. So the angle of the sun versus the glare, you'll kind of see if you're coming into a bay, you can look one way, you'll see a lot better than looking the other way, and position your boat that way as you're coming into the bay and work through that way. Otherwise you're fighting glare all day long. And you kind of have to up the ante when you're trying to see these fish at a distance. So it really makes a big difference. The most important thing out here is a quality pair of sunglasses. Polarized sunglasses. Without polarized sunglasses, you will never see these fish. To take the glare off, and on a high sunny day like today, it really protects your eyes. For the amount of time I spend on the water, I have to have quality sunglasses. And not only for the protection of my eyes, but to actually see these buggers as they're upsunning themselves. So it makes a huge difference having quality glasses. Oh, there's a giant. Oh my God.
Oh my Lord. Right here, right here, right here.
Just gotta stay with this fish and we'll get him to go.
Oh! He swung, swing and a miss.
I'm gonna catch this fish. He's hit me 4 times.
Oh, Archie.
Net. Oh, Jesus. Big fish though.
Big fish.
Both of them are big.
Big fish. Those are both 50 plus. I've seen him up twice.
He just hit it twice in a row.
Gasping for air. You take that one behind you. Oh. Another swing and a miss. Foul tip.
How I haven't caught this fish yet is gonna blow my mind if we don't get him.
Nobody said it'd be easy.
Oh!
Foul tip to left field.
I'm in puke.
That was a big fish.
I know. I know. I know. So we chased that fish for, oh my Lord, probably 350 yards.
Oh, swing and a miss.
I just kept repeatedly putting it right by its face as close as I could get it to react. Oh, Jesus. And it reacted 4 times, exactly how I wanted to, but as with fishing these fish, you don't always get a hook in them. They're just almost programmed to slash at anything that goes by their face. But you just keep trying, keep throwing back at them, and more often than not, you will get a hook in them, and I should have, but I didn't. But, you know, that's 53, 54 inches and fat. That's the best fish we've seen so far. And
yeah, that was a big fish.
yeah, I might need, does the Lunds come with a barf bag?
They might have,
Yeah, I'm feeling like I might need it. Swimming right at me.
There we go. There we go.
This side, Mo. I'm gonna walk him right into you. Put the net in the water. Still a pretty cool little fish to catch, but certainly not what we're here for. Show you guys what we can catch up here, but still a, you know, you can check out their armor plate in the back. You know, the teeth.
And that's just a little
That's
fella.
just a little fella. So you can imagine what his grandma can do. But starting to get a little more active. We're starting to see a lot more fish kind of cruising. Hopefully we got a big one to make a mistake here and crunch on some of our stuff.
So RJ, I know you're a multi-species guy. These gar, how long have you been targeting them?
Been near 10 years now. Yeah, we found them just kind of bumping around on the Ottawa River and pike fishing, and then you find them and figured out how to catch them. It took some time.
Now, what constitutes a big gar?
Well, it's much like musky fishing. It's kind of that 50-inch mark is kind of what we're looking for. Catch, you know, a bunch of 48s, but when you hit 50, that's pretty special fish. You know, I'm led to believe that they're very, very old fish that we're seeing in the river that have lasted years and decades even. Some biologists have told me, and there's just not a lot of research done on these fish, and that they're a really cool species. Once guys kind of catch a few and lay their hands on one, and kind of like, wow, this is different than anything else we kind of fish for, right?
They make for the ultimate picture.
Yeah, the photos
Absolutely.
are pretty cool. Yeah, there's some big fish. I've seen, you know, countless 50-inch fish, but you know, you don't always get them in the boat, right? You can see, you know,
seeing and catching are
seeing
two
and
different
catching
things.
is two different things, right? But yes, net, Mo, net, good one, real good one. Oh. Some days you stick them all, some days you stick none. It's dry, like it's just,
It's fishing, man.
it's one of those days today that you just, painful. It literally hurts inside.
Would you rather be doing this or working?
Oh. So just a little bit about what we're using for tackle. I just use my bass flipping stick. So if you've got your, you know, whatever you're flipping with at home, I've got 50-pound Power Pro on there. So that's just a G Loomis medium heavy flipping stick that we use. 50-pound Power Pro, like I said, you don't need a leader because their teeth aren't serrated. They're just a holding teeth. So I just tie direct. And on the business end is I like to use just a shallow running crankbait. Any bait that goes down a foot to 18 inches, and you can adjust depending on how deep the fish is. You really have to make sure you're bringing the bait to the fish at eye level. If it's below them, it'll go right underneath them where they won't even react to it. If it's above them, they just ignore it. Eye level, close to the body and with pace, and they'll turn and just crunch on that. Colors, doesn't matter, whatever's easiest for you to probably see your bait, so in the water when you're retrieving the bait back to the fish. It's okay. Like I said, the smaller ones are tougher to get a hook into. There's just not enough meat in that face to really, I still love watching them hit it because they are programmed to just attack stuff, right? So
You get it close enough, you get it in the right
you
spot.
get it in the right spot, they hit it.
They're gonna hit.
And all it takes is one fish and one cast, and everything's over. Everything's just with any species, but especially with these fish. Let's give her a go, get back in. Go! Good fish, Mo. Really nice one here. Really nice one, buddy.
Nice.
no. Hang on, bud. Hang on.
Okay.
Calm down. Put the net in the water. All the way in the water. I'll bring them right in there, buddy.
Lead him right in?
Yep.
There
Lift
we
up. Bingo, baby, bingo. Just leave
That
them right in the water. Perfect.
Is nice.
Woo! We like that one. Let's get this
right.
beast in here.
That
for a
is a
look-see.
beauty.
There we go. Man, did we have to chase that guy? We must have gone halfway across this bay.
It was worth the effort.
Yeah, worth the effort, but the old Altera, man. I can use that thing all day long out here, 36 volts, and it never lets me down, that thing. I'm never worried about losing juice throughout the day with that sucker. And I can chase these fish on, 100% on that trolling motor, and it's all over the place, and it never lets me down, and I can really chase these fish down, which is oftentimes what it's going to take to actually catch them. So
Look at the teeth on it. That is amazing. What a gorgeous fish.
pretty wild, eh? Well, let's throw her back in the net there, and we'll get a couple stills with her. So what do you
Excellent.
think? That's cool. Right on. Come on, girl. Yeah, there she goes. She gone. You all set, Mo?
I am ready to go.
All right. Well, you may have noticed that on a couple of the fish that the bait may look a little bit different, and it's something that I came up with a little while ago, that some days they're just not hitting it right, and it seems like they're kind of bouncing at the bait and kind of swiping at it, but you're not really getting them. So every now and then I'll add a little stinger hook on there. Not a real technical thing, but that every now and then when they're not hitting it real good, that little stinger will catch them. Tie one of those up. It's just a 80-pound fluorocarbon, a couple leader crimps with a good 3X strong hook on the back. But I prefer not to use this rig because every now and then, if you're in weeds, it can get real dicey with them. But certainly in open water, it's not a problem, and just a little something we came up with, and it seems to work on those days when they're short striped.
The best story ever. The best story ever is Phil casting at that monster that you were nice enough to let him cast for this Ontario record. What you knew was an Ontario record gar.
Yeah.
Get it, Phil, get it.
Yeah.
And
he's casting on the left side of the fish over and over and over, making beautiful casts and the fish not reacting. So he says, just take a cast. So I take a cast, take one cast on the right side of the fish, hook the fish, land it. It's the new Ontario record. We pull the fish in the boat and it's blind in the left eye. So his perfect cast, that fish couldn't see it anyway. So yeah,
Crazy.
he got the raw deal there. We still talk about that, and that's 8 years ago now.
that's
crazy.
my luck.
Yeah.
That'll be my luck.
So since being in the 202 GL last year, a bunch of stuff I've really come to appreciate with it is when I start my season, whether I'm fun fishing or guiding or whatever it is, when I start to pack my boat in April, I load everything I need into this boat. So I've got, whether I'm fishing for crappies or lake trout, jigging lake trout or muskies, all that stuff, I have all that gear. I'm able to store all that gear in my boat, so I don't really have to reload my boat to go out for the next day, because I guide for everything, I fish for everything in this area, so I'm able to store everything in this boat right from the day one of the season. If I'm going, whether I'm going downrigging on Lake Ontario in 200 feet of water or in the 2 feet of water for gar, this boat can take me anywhere. I've had this boat in like 18 inches of water, flipping mats for largemouth, to chasing gar around in 18 inches of water. You'd think a big boat like this would be tough to get into this shallow water. No issues whatsoever. It's actually shocking at times how shallow this boat will go. And and then we get out in Lake Ontario and you're in 2 and 3 foot of chop and no issues. The ride's dry, and it's really changed my fishing to a lot more comfortable. But more importantly, the people I have in the boat, whether they're friends or family or clients, it's just a really great experience to everybody to fish out of this boat. Another advantage to this boat is this massive live well at the back. You have a fish you need to recuperate, you can obviously put them in there, jam the aerator on them, and give them some fresh oxygen and get them back in once you go to release them.
It seems like Mercury's always coming up with something new, whether it's their 75 through 115 series outboard, a Spitfire prop. What they've come out with this year is going to change the game for a lot of people. One of the big issues we see is people not knowing how to properly trim their boat. It becomes a big safety issue and a big fuel efficiency issue. This year, Mercury's just introduced their new auto trim feature. This is a system that is going to allow that boat to get up on plane, on trim properly, run the boat smoother in rough water, save a lot of fuel, and make life easier for a lot of people, particularly new boaters.
So it looks like we're getting a bit of a window here. Flat, calm, and the sun's coming out after this. About 10 seconds, it's gonna be pure sun and makes it a lot easier for us to see them and then present a bait to them and hopefully
Hammer them.
hook one.
Oh, there.
Come on, Mo. Coming your way. Coming your way, buddy. Coming your way. Coming your way. Don't stab at him. Just basket him in. Lift the basket. Lift the basket. Bingo. Yeah, buddy. Boom.
Nice work.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice one.
And he hit I had like 6 feet of line out and he chased it out. Donk. That's a nice one. These fish range all the way to Florida, but I can tell you the ones in Ontario are just as nice, and they might not be the 40, 50 pounders, but that's a nice fish to catch. I don't care who you are. There you go, baby. You see, we throw her in the live well for a couple photos and get her on her way. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yikes, yeah.
Jurassic Park all over again.
I am addicted to those fish. Never get tired of it. It's been a battle. Sometimes it's so hard and sometimes it's so easy, but that's fishing, really.
The RJ happy dance.
Look at me, I blew a shoelace. That calls for a cigar.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like more information, check out lundboats.com or these other online outlets.